what's the name? Algebra, right? We'll be solving more. Those questions, I have posed them so that they will tackle all aspects of your change of subject goals and your mathematics skills. I need someone to read for me. Hack, read.
Change of subject in algebra means rewriting a formula so that a different variable becomes the subject. That is, expressing one variable in terms of the others. In other words, we rearrange an equation so that the required variable is alone, no one side of the equation. Purpose of changing the subject.
Okay, no, wait. Olivia, read. Olivia Baden. Olivia, read. Don't raise your hand then. If I call you, you not answer. Daisy.
Change of subject in algebra means rewriting a formula so that a different variable becomes the subject. That is, expressing one variable in terms of the others. In other words, we arrange an equation so that the required variable is alone on one side of the equation. Purpose of changing the subject. So please scroll up. We change the subject of a formula in order to 1. Make a particular variable easy to calculate. Substitute values easily. To change the subject of a formula, we use algebraic rules to undo operations applied to the variable. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must do the same to the other side.
Okay. Adepa, Kwabena Adepa, read. Kwabena Adepa. Kwabena. Please don't raise your hand if I call you and you are not going to respond. Isra, read.
Change of subject. Change of subject in algebra means rewriting the formula so that a different variable becomes the subject. That is, expressing one variable in terms of the others. In other words, we rearrange an equation so that the required variable is on one side of the equation. Purpose of changing the subject. We change the subject of a formula in order to scroll up.
Okay. Sorry. Karen.
We change the subject formula in order to make a particular variable easy to calculate. Substitute values easily. To change the subject of a formula, we use algebraic rules on the options applied to the variable. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must do the same to the other side.
All right, thank you. Let's start with the examples. Example 1. Today we might solve about 10 or 10. Yes, we may be able to solve 10. We can work faster. So this is the first question we have. He's telling us to make X the subject of this equation. Remember, I'm starting with by the end of change of subject, I would have taught you all the mathematics rules that you have to undo an equation, and to ensure that I'll teach you all of that. So if you follow, you'll be fine. Now, the real terms that is used to ask questions on change of subject is make X the subject. Or sometimes they can say express one variable in terms of the others. Okay. So solution. So in algebraic expression, we find out we are going to make X the subject in this equation. We need to remove the bracket to ensure that the X variable is able to stand alone and we can isolate it. Anytime you see a bracket, undo the bracket. Okay, remove it. That's it. So ax, we have ax plus c is equal to d plus 2d minus 2x. And that's the deal. Then arrange all the x at one side of the equal to sign. So ax plus 2x. What did I do? I took this and sent to the other side of the equal to sign. Right? It's equal to 2d d plus, look at this, 2d plus d, they are all the same like terms. Guys, we studied that in algebra, like terms. So it becomes 3d minus c. Why minus c? This c goes to the other side. You can see that. All right. So after that, I make x stand alone in this equation. So I factorize x out. We studied that in algebra. So a plus 2 is equal to 3d minus c. Then we want x to stand alone, so we divide, right? So x will become equal to, let's pick up. So we have 3d minus c all over a plus 2 in this order, and then we are done. We've been able to make x the subject. We will be able to make x the subject. Someone is going to explain, give us a thorough understanding, and then we move on. So that is it. Literally, good. Literally, look at what we did. We removed the bracket, right? So let me write that. Remove or expand the bracket, okay? Expand the bracket, then group like terms. So you group like terms of x. You want x to stand alone, right? Then you factorize x out. You factorize x, and then you divide by the unwanted variable, right? So you divide it. So it's like you divide. It's like you actually wanted to. No, I want to see. Let me. I'm coming, please. Let me move. Good. You can see everything. So that is it. We expand the bracket. We group like terms of x. We factorize x out. And then we divide through by the unwanted variable. We divide through, we factor x out. Right? And then we divide through by the unwanted variable. The one we didn't want was a plus 2. So we divide. Okay. So that is it. As easy as that. Who is explaining to us? Okay, Benjamin, let's go.
Okay, so we have we said we should make x the subject of ax plus c is equal to d plus 2 bracket open d minus x. So with this one, our first step is to, if there is a bracket there, we are supposed to expand the bracket, and we can see there's a bracket there, so we are going to rewrite the expression again, and we are going to expand the bracket. So we're going to have ax plus c is equal to d plus 2 is going to multiply the d, giving us 2d, and positive 2 is going to multiply x, giving us minus 2x, because the x always overcomes a positive. So then moving on, we are going to group like terms. You can see that on the right hand side there's ax plus c, on the left hand side there's d plus 2d minus 2x. Looking at this, you can see that x is on the left hand side and right hand side, so we have to group them so that our factorization will be simple. So we're going to have ax plus, we bring the negative 2x over the equal to sign, going to be a positive, so we're going to have ax plus 2x, then the c is going to cross to the other side, giving us 3D minus C. Remember that the D adding to 2D will give us 3D, because let's say 1 is standing in front of the D, giving us 3D. So we're going to have AX plus 2x equal to 3D minus C. So here we are supposed to factor x out, because they say we should make x the subject. And according to the introduction earlier, the variable that we are supposed to make suggests to stand alone. So here we are supposed to factor x out. So we're going to have ax bracket open a plus 2 equals to 3D minus c. So here after that we are going to divide by a plus 2 on both sides, giving us x is equal to 3D minus c all over a plus 2.
Good, that's right. The second one, it will be a girl that will explain. Then I'll be giving marks for boys and girls. We'll see who win. Example 2. Does it make sense? If it makes sense, type it. Example 2, please. If it makes sense, let me know. Let's go on to the next one. Let's do the easy ones first. Then let's switch into the tough ones. Does it make sense? Type it. So example 2 is posed like this. He asks us to make M the subject of this. So make M the subject. So there's a work. He's asking us to do, make this the subject. So solution. This one does not have a bracket. So we move ahead to group like terms, right? So we have MT, want to make M the subject, minus MP, right? Is equal to kill minus N. That's it. Then factorize M out. So you group like terms. I want to write this. It's easy, but I want to write it so everyone sees that what we are doing is algorithmic, a structure. We're following the same principles. So make group like terms of M. We did that. Then factorize M out. When you factorize M out, what happens? You have M into brackets. Oh, M into bracket T minus P. And that will give us equal to Q minus N. Right? Then you divide. You divide by the unwanted variable. You divide by the one you do not need. Right? So M now become equal to M now become equal to, we pick up a fraction. We have Q minus N all over T minus P. And that is it. We need a female to explain this one. A female should explain this one. Oh, you guys can see. And you can see the board. I tuned in. A female should explain this one. Who is helping us? Esther. Esther, explain.
So with this
Your network. Esther, your network isn't helping at all. Esther Labi, read. Esther Labi, please explain. Oh, why is it that when I call Augusta, explain, Augusta.
So, sir, please, the question said MT plus N is equal to MP plus Q, and you're making M the subject. So you bring all factors that have M in at one side and the remaining at the other side. So we have mt minus mp is equal to q minus n. And now you factor out the m and you put the remaining into brackets. So the mt minus mp, you just factor the m out and it's equal to q minus n. Then you divide both sides by the coefficient of m. And when you cancel out, you get q minus n is over t minus p, giving you your answer for m.
All right, good. Example 3. Example 3. Now let's move on to example 3. We are asked to express L. Express L in terms of P, V, and Q in the equation. So we have to express L in terms of that. Okay. So solution. When you see brackets, what do? You remove the bracket, right? So point 1. You expand the bracket. Right? So when you expand the bracket, you have 3V 2P plus 2L. And that's how it's going to be. Then what do? You are making L the subject. So group the L's at one side. Do you get it? Yeah. So I would have 3V minus PQ minus 2P is equal to 2L. Right? And when I have that, I divide through. I divide by the unwanted variable. So I'll have L is equal to I need a fraction. I would have 3V minus PQ minus 2P all over what? 2. And that's my answer. As easy as that. As easy as that. Example 4. Example 4. You have a project on this one. So please. Example 4. Example 4. So did you just see what I did? I expanded the bracket. I made L stand alone. I group like terms of L. And then I divide through. So it's like it's like we're going through the same procedure. Expand bracket, group like terms, factor out, divide. That's what we are doing. Example 4. There's a question. Express S in terms of the other variable in this equation. I'm doing all the simpler ones first. Then we'll move on to straight on to more deeper ones. Okay. So solution. So since we are making X the subject, X is already grouped already. You can see X is grouped at one side. So we just have to factorize out. Right? So sorry. You factor X out. Good. So you have X outside. 2P minus A, which will give you R plus S. Then what do? You just divide. You see, we are doing the same things. So you bring it down here, and then you have R plus S all over 2p minus a. And that is the answer for making x a subject. Oh yes, we are doing easier stuff, so that when we get to the hard stuff, I can stress on the reason why I had to do this one. Okay, example 5. Example 5. I know all of it makes sense because I'm just doing the same things over and over again, right? Example 5. We are asked to make x the subject of this. So as easy as that, we are doing, we'll have this. We need to make x stand alone, right? You know. And we have 3z plus 6 is equal to 5 dx. Then what do? We divide by what? 5d. 5d, right? So x is equal to x is equal to, then let's divide by 5d. X is equal to, so we have it here. We have 3z plus 6 all over what? 5d. And that's what we have. As easy as that as well. As easy as that. I'm on question 5. I'm moving to question 6. Does it make sense? Is it okay to everyone? Speak to me in the chat section.
Yes.
Speak to me in the chat section. Example 6. Before we switch on to the hard things, you need to understand the basics. Does it all make sense? Are you okay? All right, good. Example 6. We are asked to make x the subject of this. We are asked to make x the subject of this. Can you see that? Now, we have been expanding bracket. If we find bracket, so let's expand bracket. Let me save my file first because I'm having a problem sometimes. Okay, we have it. We have it saved. So expand the brackets. You need to expand the bracket, right? So we have to remove the bracket. We have 3x times 2. Look at this one. We have 6x. Becomes 6x. Right? Plus 3ax minus 20 plus 4x. I'm expanding the bracket, guys. 3 times this one will give me 6x, of course. And 3x times 8 will give me 3ax. Then minus 4 times 5 will give me minus 20. Minus 4 times this minus x will give me plus 4x. It's equal to r plus 2x. Right? So I have this equation. Then what do? I need to ensure that I make x stand alone. So I group like terms of x. Okay. So in grouping like terms of x, I have 6x plus 3x minus 2x. Sorry, plus 4x is there. Plus 4x minus 2x is equal to r, right, plus 20. So rather than I'm done, I can see that minus 2 and this 4x and this 6x can be simplified. So 6x plus 4x will give me 10x. 10x minus 2x will give me what? 8x, right? Plus 3ax. Letters first. Let me bring 3ax first. 3ax plus 8x is equal to r plus 20. So now I factorize x out. I factorize x out. So I have x into bracket 3a plus 8. Right? I factorize x out. I'm doing the same things so that you have no chance to tell me that I don't understand. I'm doing the same things, expanding, grouping like terms, factoring out and dividing. Expanding, grouping like terms, factorizing out and dividing. Expanding, grouping like terms, factoring out and dividing. All right. So I have x is equal to, then I'll bring my division sign. I need to divide. I have r plus 20 all over 3a plus 8. And that becomes my answer. And then I'm done. Right? So what did we do? I'm going over again. We are asked to make x the subject of this formula. And there were brackets. So we had to expand all the brackets out. So I did that. I expanded all the brackets, made sure that every bracket is removed. Afterwards, I group like terms of x. I make sure that I group all the x at one side. And I simplified the other side, that side, because I knew there was 6x, 4x, and then 2x. So I simplified that to get 8x. When I finished that, I factorized out x. So I brought x out, and then it was remaining with 3a and 8. And I divided to get my final answer. I need someone to explain this one as we move on. Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. I need someone to explain. Dorcas.
Yes, sir. So that in the formula 3x into bracket 2 plus a minus 4 into bracket 5 minus x is equal to r plus 2x. So what you first do is that you expand the brackets. So firstly, the 3x will multiply everything in the first bracket, which is 2 plus a. So the 3x come and multiply the 2 to give you 6x. And then the 3x multiply the a to give you 3ax. Then you move on to the second term. So the negative 4 will come and multiply the first element in the first bracket, so in the brackets. So negative 4 times 5, that gives you negative 20. And then the negative 4, 2 will come and multiply the second element. So negative 4 times negative x will give you positive 4x, because negative times negative will give you positive, which is equal to r plus 2x. So then you group like terms of x. So all the terms that contain x, you group them at one side, which we have done to have 6x plus 3ax plus 4x minus 2x, which is equal to r plus 20. So when you simplify this, the 6x plus the 4 minus the 2x will give you 8x, and then
you come and bring down the remaining, which is 3ax, which is equal to r plus 20. So with the 3ax plus 8x, you can choose to, you factor out the x. So when you factor out the x, it will give you x into bracket 3a plus 8, which is equal to r plus 20. So you furthermore you want x to stand alone. So you divide both sides by 3a plus 8. So then when you divide from the first side, the 3a plus 8 will attach to the x will cancel out, and then remaining the 3a plus 8 on the other side. So therefore x is equal to r plus 20 divided by 3a plus 8.
Exactly. Example 7. I hope this example makes sense. Does it make sense? Let's move on. Does it make sense? Talk to me through the tax section. If it doesn't, caution me. Let me explain whatever you want me to do before we start doing projects. Let's start starting some divisions. Example 7. This is what we have. So this is our example 7 solution. Yes, it all makes sense. Perfect. All right. Now listen, with example 7, you have this and you're asking you to make D the subject. Look at D. You're asking to make D the subject of this. Whenever you see a fraction, you need to multiply through by the LCM or the most common denominator. The common denominator means that a denominator that both LCM will be able to be divisible by. And in this one, that common denominator is still 8h. So you multiply through by the LCM. Whenever you see a fraction, okay? So multiply through by the least common denominator. So here it's going to be 8h. I'm going to do 8h to everyone. So that everyone can see it well. This is the first one we are multiplying. So I want to use the multiplication sign. In other real sense, I wouldn't have used it, but I want everyone to get it right. So we'll be on the same page. We are taking our time to do this well. Yes, I have it. Times R, okay, will be equal to h over 2 times h over 2 times what? 8h, right? Class D over 8h. In real life, when you are solving it, you don't need to be so strategic and be showing up in this way. You can just go ahead and do it. I want to show it so everyone sees that I multiplied through by 8h. All of them has it. 8h, 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 because 8h is the least common denominator. So after doing that, I simplify. So I'll have 8HR multiplied by these two cancel solve 1 and cancel this 8 4 times. So I have 4h squared. Remember, okay, 4h squared. All right, for that side. So I'll clean all of this. I have 4h squared. Let me bring my squared. I have 4h squared plus, and then this 8 cancel. No. Just cancel this out, right? And I get d for that side. So let me get that off. And I have d. So all that we have is now this. And after we are done, we can now arrange and make d the subject. We have 8hr minus 4h squared. Because you have to group like things. It's equal to d. This question was really cool because d was already almost standing alone. Let's factor out well at the other side. We have 4h to be common. It's always good to factorize your answer out. 2r, sorry, minus h is equal to d. And that becomes our final answer. That becomes our final answer. I can ask you to make h the subject. You will be having a quadratic. You have to be using a quadratic to solve it out. I'll teach you quadratic formula and we'll use it to be solving certain questions that will pose themselves in that order. Assuming they say make h the subject and you reach this side, you should be writing something like this. 4h squared, right? Minus 4h squared, let's arrange it well, plus 8hr, okay, minus d is equal to 0. So you will literally have, let's multiply through by minus so that our quadratic becomes very apprehensive and lenient. 8hr plus d. No, it should be minus at the side. So squared minus, then it's equal to 0. So now you have to use a quadratic formula. And what's the quadratic formula? X, let me write it at the side. Assuming they've told you make h the subject. X is equal to minus b plus or minus, because you can't factor h out. Irrespective of what you do, h cannot be factored out because there is squared and there's 1. It cannot work. So plus or minus be the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's define a, b, and c. I'll teach you quadratic formula as we are moving on to polynomials and relations. We'll start dealing with that. Okay? But let me go through this. Maybe you can watch the video and it can give you a picture ahead before we start quadratic formula. A will be equal to 4. B will be equal to minus 8r. And C will be equal to D. Why? Because quadratic formula is like this. Ax squared plus bx plus c. And it looks like this has been written in that form. Looks like this guy has been written in that form. So we have written the parameters out. A, B, and the C. X has become the H in our equation. Please drop your hands when I am explaining something. Drop your hands. When I ask questions, then you raise it up. Else you confuse me. You confuse. It will help me to be able to focus. And we'll work together. When I ask a question, then you raise it. Now, you fix it into the equation. So X, we are not looking for X. We are looking for H. So let's put H here. So we have H will be equal to minus 8r plus or minus the square root of minus 8r all squared. Right? minus 4. A is 4. C is D. Right? All over 2 times 4. They can simplify it. You see what we are getting? Yes. But hardly will they give you question like this for you to make H the subject. However, it's not something outside scope. It's within scope. You can be asked to find it. You get it? But you use a quadratic method to simplify it because there's no other way you can make H stand alone aside this way. Then finally, you can say H becomes equal to HR plus or minus the square root of 64R squared. Then minus 16D all over 8. Right? That's it. You can simplify further and make it like this. H now become equal to, because 8 can divide this and this. So you have 8R all over 8 plus or minus the square root of 64R squared minus 16D all over 8 2. This 8 cancel this 8. And finally, our answer becomes H is equal to R plus or minus the square root of 64R squared minus 16D all over 8. That becomes the answer. When you fix values in, you find out that we get some cool answers. Right? Yeah. This is just by the way. When you watch the video, it can help you pitch yourself up. It's just by the way, guys. It's just by the way. Yaira Kelvin.
Sir, I think after dividing 8R by 8, you won't give R the denominator of 8.
Good guy.
So
Good guy. I'm planning to do this over 8 this way. Good. Good, Yaira. Perfect. So it becomes like this. R plus or minus the square root of like that. So this become a final answer in case we are giving the question is posed in quadratic like this. Percy.
Sir, I used the 2 to divide through to multiply through, but I ended up getting the same answer. So does it mean that you can also use the 2?
You use which 2? I don't get it.
The 2, the denominator. The denominator. I use it to multiply, and I ended up getting the same answer.
Hey, the 2 cannot be the LCM. Let me check. We are going to check together. So the quadratic is just by the way, guys. The quadratic is just by the way. When we get to a place where I find quadratics will be used, we will. It's just by the way. Mastermind guys should be very smart. Should be very smart. So this should be very fine. Okay. All right. So let me clean it up. Good. You divide by 2. No, 2 is not the LCM, guy. 2 is not the LCM. If you want to use 2, it can't be. But you get the same answer. Sometimes math is miraculous. You can do something wrong, however, miraculously get the right answer. But let me see. Plus D all over 8H times 2. This cancel this out. So you have 2R is equal to H plus this cancel this. You get 4H. So D all over 4H. So 4H is still there. You have to still multiply through by the 4H. So you have 8RH is equal to 4H squared plus D. It's true. Wow. Minus 4H squared is equal to D. You are right, but in certain cases, maybe you wouldn't have the same answer in certain cases. The right LCM should be chosen, and in this case, it's 8H. The right LCM will always let you get something linear when you work it out, most often. But it works still for 2. And that is why we have to still multiply through by 4H down here again. You get it? So we multiply through twice. It means that 2 is a factor for all of them because H is a letter. So for all of them, but when you are solving on certain questions and you use the LCM like that, you might not be having the right answer in that regard. Maybe this might work. When you get to other ones, you will see whether it behaves like that. So let's move on. That quadratic question I solved, so that we can become exceptional, I'll add it. Example 8. So I'm adding that one. Make H the subject. We'll do the same thing and we'll reach here. So we'll do the same thing, solution. And we'll reach here. And when we reach here, we cannot move further because H cannot stand alone. We cannot move further, right? So we'll pose this as a quadratic. Okay? So the quadratic becomes like this. 4H, let me cut this off. 4H minus 8. I said, one say mama 8. Mama 8, this side I quit you. And a D near plus. So plus D is equal to 0. Since this is a trinomial, it's a quadratic trinomial. So let's say it's a quadratic. We solve using the quadratic formula. Okay, and what's the quadratic formula? I think that one, Microsoft has written it for us already. Let me check through. Good. This is a quadratic formula. Okay, so this time we want to make H. H is equal to, so X has turned into H because we need H. So by comparing the standard quadratic formula is giving us AX squared. Let me write it. AX squared plus BX plus C. That's how the quadratic formula looks like. That's the structure it should take. So by comparing it with this one, you find out that A will be giving us 4. B will be giving us minus 8H. 8R, sorry. Because the H is the XO, you see? And then C will be giving us D. You get it? Look at it. Have you seen it? Using the quadratic formula. Standard quadratic formula is this. By comparing with this, you have A is this, B is that, and C is that. Then, what do you do?
Please.
Yes, who is talking? Who is talking?
So please, the B, is it a negative HR or negative H?
Negative HR. Because the H is the X. The H, it is the X. Look at you, we are taking this form. So the X is out. X is out, take the other one and compare. If H is out and another H is out, take the other ones and compare. A is 4, B is 8, R, because you don't want the H. H is like X, and C is D, in that order. Did you just see that?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So I pick up this, and I put all my values in there. So our minus D is, please take note that there was a minus already there. So 8R. Plus or minus, and the B is, there's a minus already there. Minus 8R. And for the 4AC, I'll have 4D. And the
Hello,
A,
sir.
yes.
Sir, please, when a D crosses the equal sign, it becomes minus, not plus.
D did not cross. Check it. D did not cross. It's 4H squared. This one came to the other side. Minus 8HR plus D. D did not cross. Did it?
Okay.
Right. Good.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Let's continue. Fast. I want to solve more questions today. So after we are done, we are positive 8R. You can see that again like a pop. Right. And we will have 64R squared. So let me do that. 64. Why 64? Of course, it's squared. So you know the negative will go off. Then I have 64 for 16D. And I have 8 down here. Good. Finally, we have 8 can divide for both sides, right? So let me impose it like this. When I pose it like this, I can get this one. Yes, Joe, if you was a warrior.
Sir, please, isn't the B supposed to be negative 8HR?
The B is not supposed to be negative 8HR. Compare with the quadratic formula. Compare with the quadratic formula. We are comparing. Guys, let me highlight it. We are looking for H. In quadratics, when you're looking for X. Oh. I'm coming, please. In quadratics, when I'm looking for X, see, the X is out. This X is out, right? The same applies to the H. The H is out. This H is out. Now take the remaining ones. Look at it clearly. You find out that A will just be 4. Did you see that? Then let me use another this one. Blue. B will just be everything left here. Minus 8R. H is not part. Can you see that? And then C will just be D. Did you see that? Joy, are you okay?
Yes, please.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
All right. So in the quadratic formula, just that the X has turned to the H. That is why we went to make the quadratic formula H. You see? So everything left aside the H is what is B. Take note of that. You need to be very careful and slow down on that section. When I teach you polynomial, you'll be fine. Say, please, I don't understand. Oh, it's not for the week. I'm not supposed to even. It's just that I'm giving you a general mop-up of it. Okay? Don't worry. When I finish teaching you the quadratics, you'll be so fine that we can come back to look at this. Okay? So when I'm done, we can have R plus 64R squared plus or minus. So the answer will be two values. all over 8. So you can even decide to factorize the 64 and 16 out. You get it? So maybe let's do that and finish it up. 64 and 16, what happens? What comes out? 16 times what to give us 64? 16 times what? Who is up and get a 6 times what?
Sixteen times 4.
Okay, Benjamin. So we have 4 there. And that becomes the right answer. So that is it. This particular question, I just taught you. It's a bank. It's a question bank. That there is a plan to pose certain questions like this. So I solved the simpler one. And that one I was supposed to find D. I used my normal method of going through around it. And I was able to find D simpler. It was very simple. And I realized that there is a question that is embedded here. What if they tell you to find H, which cannot stand alone? This become a quadratic. It becomes a quadratic. And most of you will not understand because you've not done quadratic formula, which I'll be treating with you after relations and functions. After relations and functions, I'll be doing polynomials, where we'll do everything concerning quadratics. This formula I've written here for you is a quadratic formula, and you need to have it in your mind. When I post the file, check it out. And this is the standard quadratic formula. This is how to write quadratic in a standard form. So I compare the quadratic I have with that standard form to write out my values and fix my values into the quadratic formula. So I write out my values. A is 4. Oh. Yes. Okay. A is 4. B is minus 8R. And C is D. Who gets it? Should explain to me. Yes. Who gets it? Should explain to me. Who is there? Oh, by now, guys, you should have been using quadratic formula normally. By now. Oh, God is my witness. Before I went to SHS1, I had used quadratic formula several times. So if you are not using quadratic, it means that you are a little bit joking. By now, you should have used quadratic formula. I'm not stressing you, but I'm telling you the truth. By now, you should have used quadratic formula. You should have it on your fingertips by now. If you don't have it, when I post this file today, go through it and look at the standard form of a quadratic formula and keep this in your head. Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a should be on your fingertips if you study general mathematics. Christopher, let's go.
Okay, sir. So with this one, as for the minus b root of is it? Oh, sir, please can you scroll down again? It seems I've forgotten that formula. The minus b root of. So I'm talking about the formula itself. The formula. So me with this one, I call it the almighty formula. Sorry, sir, I just joined because I went for a church program. So the minus b plus or minus root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a is a formula that is used to find the like in situations where you have this the 4h squared minus 8hr plus d is equal to 0. So you list the value. So there is a, b, and c. We can all see there that there is a, b, and c, and there is also h. So we list all the values. So we have a, b, c, and by comparing the 4h squared minus 8hr plus d is equal to 0. Now we have h to be equal to 4. You have B to be touched negative A. It should always be arranged in order, because if you don't arrange it in order, you get things messed up. So the if it is a quadratic, the exponent 2 comes first, then the exponent 1, then the exponent 0. Those exponents, I'm talking about the exponents of the variable. So the x squared is the variable, then plus the x, which is bx, then plus the c is a constant, and it is always assumed that the constant multiplies x to the power of 0, and any number with the power of 0 is 1. So c times 1 is 1. So you bring it and then you substitute it into it, and then you will be able to get there.
All right.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm also trying to understand because I just joined.
All right. Good. Good. So that is it. That is it. So I'll be going through this one particularly again. I write the it is because most of you have not maybe used the quadratic formula. That is when you would have troubles and problems. But I've told you that when I tackle polynomials, that is slated for after this week, when we are done with the relations and functions. I'll switch on to polynomials now. We can do everything concerning how to factorize quadratics. So we've learned how to factorize quadratics by the normal factorization method. However, there are 3 more powerful ways to do that. And this one is the best way to do that. We'll talk about that later. Let's continue to change our subject. When I post the file, check it. This is just to make you exceptional. Example 9. Example 9. We are given this. We are asked to make x the subject. You know there are denominators. We need to multiply through by the LCM. I told you whenever you find a denominator, multiply through by the LCM, right? And the LCM here is PD. PD. Okay. So let's multiply through with that. So we have PD multiplied by, let me pick a multiplication sign here. I think I have it. Okay, multiplied by that, and the Q2, don't forget, PD will multiply that one as well. Good. And PD will multiply C as well. And then PD will multiply this guy as well. Please, the LCM should always multiply each term. Term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4. Not necessarily only the ones with the denominator, please. Most students do that. Don't do that. LCM must multiply through all. When we are done, as you can see, P cancels P. We have dx plus Q is equal to PDC minus dx. So this is what it's going to have. Because we will cancel out. Now we group like terms. So multiply with the least common denominator, right? Group like terms of x. Who is there, please? You can type into the chat session. I'll see it still. Sometimes if what you are saying is minor, don't distract the class. You can type it, I'll see it. Then we have dx plus dx because you have to group like terms of x, right? Let me bring it here rather. So we have dx plus px is equal to multiply pd by q. Okay. So pdq. Yeah, you guys are right. Then I have pdc minus pdq. Like that. Right? Then you factorize x out. So factorize x out, right? So we have x bracket open and close d plus p is equal to, we have to factor out certain things. pd into bracket c minus q. You want your equation to be really okay, right? That is it. Then, right, when we are done, we can divide. So final answer becomes x is equal to, they will pick a fraction, right? Then we write the pd bracket open and close c minus q all over d plus p, and that it becomes our answer. We are done. That's it.
Sir.
Yes, who is there?
Sir, please, so can you choose not to factorize the other side where necessary the x?
Can you what? Can
you choose not to factor out where you factor out the pd?
You want your work to be very no. You want it to be in the most simplest form. Where you can factorize it. Let them know you know what factorization is, because they expect you to know it in algebra. So if you leave it like that, you can be sometimes deducted marks. Where you need to factorize it, don't leave it. I'm saying for the last time. Where you see that factorization can work, don't leave it. All right, so we have that. Does it make sense to all of you? Does it make sense to all of you? Talk to me in the chat section. Oh, a few of you, only a few of you. It makes sense to only a few of you. Example 10, and that's the last example that we close for today. I'll ask example, then we go off. Example 10. We are asked to make X a subject of this. We multiply through by the LCM. You can choose to just cross multiply. That's all. So multiply through the LCM or just cross multiply. Right? Joy free. Joy free.
Sir, please. Sir, please, the question you said. Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay. So A plus B, which is called to MX plus C. Right? I guess cross multiply, guys. It's over 1. Z, assuming Z was over 1. It's equal to. It's a fraction against another fraction. So I just cross multiply. So I get my Z into bracket A plus B is equal to MX plus C. That's it. Straight up. Now ZA plus AZ. Then BZ. Okay, MX plus C. Then go on. I can decide to also multiply to by the LCM, which become like this plus B is equal to MX plus C all over A plus B multiplying A plus B. Let's cancel this out. Then I get my work again. And it's the same thing. The same thing. So that so we have AZ plus BZ is equal to MX plus C. What I'm making a subject, X, right? So where there is a need to factor out, don't leave it. Did you hear what I said? Z into bracket A plus B. Oh, it's already done. So we just have to even bring the C back. So there was no need for me to even expand. So Z into bracket, let me pick it up again. Then I'll bring C here. Okay. When I do that, I'll let you this. Then I'll divide through by what? M. That's it. So I have X is equal to then I pick all of this to the top. Then I bring the and assuming you are asked to make A the subject, you move through the same procedure. Let's do question. Let's use that as question 11. We are done. We move on and finish. Example 11. Example 11. So, assuming we are making A the subject, then there will be a need for us to expand, right? We have maybe ZA plus ZB, right? Or BZ. It should be BZ. Letters should be well arranged. Good. Minus C. We are making A the subject, so there's no need for the C coming to the other side. So plus C. All right. So now we want to make A the subject. We send the BZ to the other side, and A can stand alone. And that is what we are doing. We are done. So that's it. BZ goes off. He goes to the other side. And that becomes like this. But we have to divide through by what? Z. You get it? We have to divide through by Z. We have to divide through by Z. So let me pick up the structure and see our final answer becomes this. Then we go off. We have A, then it be equal to mx plus c mx plus c minus bz, right? All over m. No, all over z. And that's it. If we are making A the subject, we have to expand, remove the bracket, send bz to the other side, divide by A. Divide by z, sorry. And we are done. 11 questions in all. I'm right away going to put this file on the site and name it